Hi everyone, happy Wicked Wednesday and welcome to Shivers Haunted. I am Gina Grossbauer, your curator for all things spooky. As many of us know, it's back to school time. Many of you have even gone back to school this week or are preparing for it within the next few. Either way, all of us know the anxiety and fears associated with the first day of school. Where am I going to sit? What people are in my classes? Will I ever make it out? For many of us as children, going to school was one of the first adventures away from our parents, leaving the comfort of the person who has taken care of us up until that point. For others, this is the first hint of freedom and having the opportunity to blossom into your own person. No matter what your experiences were, though, the fear of the unknown that lingers around going to school or leaving for college is real. And I'm here today to talk you through how to handle those fears. Many people don't know that the Purge franchise also created a TV show. The show aired on USA for 2 seasons and revolved around different perspectives on and after Purge night. In season 2, we follow the story of a college kid who initially hates the Purge and all violence, but turns into this crazed maniac killing kids on campus throughout the year, not just on Purge night. The Purge in general is something I like to bring up because it's something we could really see coming true. It's more realistic than something like Freddy Krueger. Being a college kid not that long ago, I can also relate to this story. Hating violence and seeing it as nothing but a waste of energy has always been my perspective, but who's to say what would happen if the Purge was real? Some government figure telling you it's okay to kill poses a real ethical dilemma. It gives you something to think about while also helping you release those rage feelings just by watching. Following with another story revolving around college, the movie The Roommate was a wildly popular film for fans of all genres. This movie feels like a campy, romantic obsession film following the relationship between strangers who move into a dorm together for college. For many of us, this fear is all too real, not knowing who you're going to be sleeping next to for the foreseeable future in a brand new place, doing all of it on your own. Talk about anxiety inducing. This film takes that feeling and escalates it by showing us what the true worst case scenario could be when moving in with a stranger. It's not a super serious film and not really even a horror film, but it's scary based on the content and worth a watch to relieve some of that anxiety for past or present bad roommates. Jumping back to the high school era, let's talk about a true classic, Carrie. This film focuses on a weirdo teen named Carrie, possessing supernatural skills that we don't truly see until the end of the film. She's bullied by people in school and basically abused by her overly religious mother. This film is relevant nowadays to bullying in schools and psychological abuse in the home. If you're different, you'll have to endure torture from high school society. Carrie's mother is so terrified that the world will tear her daughter apart and therefore basically does it herself by abusing her with religious oppressions. Carrie is the pure opposite of the film Jennifer's Body, which is another high school flick about a young girl taking her power and turning it into revenge. But at the end, they show basically the same message, the unleashing of the unjustness of being a woman. Every girl can relate to Carrie by saying, all of my internal power has been taken from me. What would happen if I got it all back and then some? This movie serves as a message to society saying we need to be kinder to one another because you don't know what kind of monster you're making. Next, let's talk about 13 Reasons Why. This is a TV show that came out initially in 2017. It was a hard TV show to watch for many reasons, maybe 13 reasons, but it's the closest thing to a real high school show that we've seen in modern times. This story revolves around a girl named Hannah Baker who killed herself and left a tape for 13 reasons on why she did it. While I don't agree with anyone blaming other people for their own decisions to take their own life, this show really puts a spotlight on bullying and how much words and actions can make an impact on other people. For Hannah, these actions were too much, and we get to see the torture that the actual alive students still have to deal with in her absence, and how far to the brink they get pushed as well. It's an interesting take on good versus evil, and also puts a spin on the classist nation that we live in. Rich kids get freebies, poor kids get shit on. This is a great TV show to watch if you're in or out of high school and want to see all sides of the story and what each person's motives are behind their actions. The bullied, the bully, the bystander, the adult, and the suicidal. The final story to mention today is a film called We Need to Talk About Kevin. I mentioned this movie while talking about evil kids in a few episodes back, but I wanted to bring it up again in lieu of going back to school. This film follows a student named Kevin who ends up shooting up his school, a school called Columbine High School. The Columbine shootings were some of the worst in history and revealed the true nature of bullying gone too far, the opposite actions of Hannah Baker in 13 Reasons. This film is incredibly scary because you know the ending even from the start of the movie, and as a viewer, you want to do everything that you can to prevent it from coming true, even though you can't. This film has you biting your nails and screaming at your TV all at the same time. Similar to this, we see the same type of story unfolding within the first season of American Horror Story. Tate Langdon, one of our main characters, is a ghost in the infamous murder house, and we don't understand why he's there or how he was murdered until closer to the show's conclusion. He ended up shooting up his school and was killed by the police, but as with the We Need to Talk About Kevin film, we know that Tate would wind up dead, so it's just simply us, the audience, trying to fight fate. As triggering as all of these stories are, it's important for us to watch and be informed. As much as we want to hide under our blankets and pretend that suicide and school shootings don't happen, unfortunately they do. So it's about being mentally ready and capable of handling it in case something like that does happen to you or your loved ones. A great way to gain that mental courage is to simply watch these movies and shows. You're safe inside and experiencing something already predetermined. You can use the credit screen to reflect on how you would react in these situations and learn more about yourself in the process. This wraps up our conversation today about school fears and some films and shows that can help you cope. As a reminder for this school year ahead, be kind to one another. Don't be a bystander to something bad happening. People need people, and people need you. As always, thanks for listening, and enjoy your Wicked